Well, hurry up before you put the machine on.
Councilwoman Gross, you do have prayer this evening, you know.
Before the recorder.
Councilwoman Gross, you do know you have prayer, correct? All right. Call to order. Prayer, Councilwoman Gross.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we stand here together tonight as resident council, we ask you to keep in your care all those whom you love and all those who serve and protect our community. We also ask you to keep in your care all those in our service to our country. We ask it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Vicente, roll call, please.
Mayor Reeves.
Here.
Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Nashua.
Here.
Ms. Reeves.
Here.
Mr. Patterson.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Dunnigan. Here. President Stewart.
Here. Presentations were joined this evening by Mr. Chris Schuster. It was with the St. James Catholic High School Alumni Association. He's going to provide us a report on the Dogs for a Cause softball tournament, which was the 19th and 20th?
20th, 21st. Yeah.
20th and 21st of September.
Yep.
Which you couldn't have gotten a better 2 days.
We couldn't. We lucked out. Thanks so much.
It was our day.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, everyone, for allowing us time on your agenda this evening. Mr. Mayor, thanks for allowing us to be here as well. This year was our third annual Dogs for a Cause softball tournament. Some of you in the borough may have known about the event. I know some folks were there and attended. I got to see some of the folks there and said hello to them this evening. This event was started to continue to fund a scholarship that was begun over 20 years ago by the parents of one of our classmates, Class 89, St. James, a gentleman by the name of Todd Maga, who had finished the academy, was waiting on an assignment, unfortunately was tragically killed working a security detail. His parents started a scholarship to fund students who were going on to work as first responders, going on to college to study criminal justice or a related field. And over the years, his parents got a little too old to continue to run all the fundraisers. So 3 years ago, members of his class from the St. James took over the fundraising efforts, if you will. We started this tournament. Two of my committee colleagues are here tonight, Chris Ritz from the class of 91 and Bill Raymond from the class of 89. And we want to send a huge thanks to the Eddystone Borough for being such fantastic neighbors to the Alumni Association on a continual year-round basis, and especially in support of this event. Similar to last year, we would like to make a contribution to the rec committee. So we brought 2 checks with us tonight. We have a new donation this year as well. One to the Eddystone Borough Rec, similar to last year, in the amount of $200, and this year for showing their support and attending our event. We also want to contribute to the Eddystone Fire Company's Ladies Auxiliary, so we have a $100 donation to that. We are absolutely looking forward to Cow Pie Bingo. I think a lot of us bought tickets, and hopefully some of those are winners, or at least one of them are winners. So now we've got to, after present these checks, we also need to head off to another committee meeting that we hold monthly and give out some more money. So it's going well. So thank you so much for being such great neighbors, and we look forward to next year.
I'm going to actually ask Judy Gross from the Ladies Auxiliary to come forward and accept the check on behalf of the
Awesome.
Ladies Auxiliary.
Okay, I can give that to Judy. And then, yeah, and Judy, this is a certificate of appreciation for the fire department too. This is something you can pass on to them as well.
Great.
The fire department has had a team every year. They won the tournament the first year. They're huge participants. They always get their money in first, their roster in first. Those guys are buttoned up. So thanks again, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Mr. Vicente, if I can turn that over to you to pass along to our treasurer, I would appreciate it. And I believe the folks from St. James already have their dates reserved for next year's tournament already. 19th of October? September.
19th September, that weekend. Yeah.
You said the 15th? 19th? 19th and 20th. 2015. On a personal note, I do want to pass along some thanks to Gene Scott and his crew at the Highway Department for making sure that they had the field manicured up and represented us very well as folks came into play in the tournament. Chief Macheski, the residents of the town may have saw some increased police activity last Thursday as you conducted a warrant sweep for fine and cost as well as domestic warrants that have been issued. I just wanted to provide you an opportunity to give a few minutes to give an overview of exactly what that operation was all about, how successful you guys were.
On Thursday, the 9th of this month, we joined with some constables, sheriffs, and officers of our department and conducted a warrant sweep on some fine and cost and domestic warrants. During the sweep, 13 subjects were taken into custody. They were somewhere around a sum of $11,000 plus. $5,200 were collected by the judge and the constables. 2 subjects were transported to Delaware County Prison. 10 subjects were released after appearing before Judge Turner, and 1 subject was detained on a domestic warrant. The reason why we conducted this sweep was we had individuals that weren't answering up to their citations, and these are the individuals we were able to catch up with. We will conduct another warrant sweep. It's not as though these subjects who get traffic citations or non-traffic citations, disorderly conduct or loitering, they get mailings from the constable, they get mailings from district court. They are not going up and answering these citations. So we need to get them and take them up so they don't continue being an annoyance to the community.
Chief, just so that you can, I know you got a lot of support from some outside agencies, if you just wanted to kind of list some of the agencies that provided you some support with the operation.
Well, I'd like to thank Chief of the Sheriff's Department Mike Donahue, Constable Fred Gattino, and Constable Mike Garvin, and our officers for all the support. And some of the residents were helping us out also. And Judge Turner.
The Judge
Judge Turner made it all possible.
Council, it was previously discussed, Chief Macheski has received a letter of resignation from Patrol Officer Tom Byrne that puts an opening for a part-time patrol officer here with the Borough of Eddystone Police Department, and this time I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint Christopher Signar to the position of a part-time patrol officer for the Borough of Eddystone Police Department. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Christopher Signor to the position of part-time patrol officer for the Eddystone Police Department.
I second it.
I have a motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mayor, if you could do the honors of swearing in Patrol Officer Signar, and I believe holding the Bible from this evening would be his mother, Donna.
I state your name. I, Christopher Signar, do solemnly swear. That I will support, obey, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And the ordinance of the Borough of Eddystone. And to carry out the duties and responsibilities of a police officer. With fidelity and to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir. Chief, do you know who his FTO is going to be yet?
We have not decided, probably Lieutenant Pritchett.
Lieutenant Pritchett. Do you know when he's going to start?
We're going to meet tomorrow morning, go over schedule.
So tomorrow morning. Congratulations, Chris. We look forward to seeing you out on the streets.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's behind me. Thank you for not wrapping it. I do have my degree in engineering. Figure it out. I won't be able to put it back in. As many of the residents know, the borough has received a letter of resignation from Dallas Waters. Dallas, in addition to being our code enforcement officer for many, many years, has been very involved in the fire department, the EMT. So unfortunately, he's not here this evening to join us. However, we will pass along our thanks and present him with a clock. The inscription reads, Dallas, thank you for 30+ years of service. Best of luck, Mayor Reeves, Eddystone Borough Council, and our employees. Prior to moving into the public forum, I did skip across a quick announcement, as there was an executive session of council that was held this evening at 6 o'clock. The purpose of the executive session was to discuss police operation issues, to update council on ongoing litigation issues, as well as to discuss some personnel issues. Public forum, Darlene Jones. And what's your street address again?
750 Ashland Avenue. This is addressed again as a continuation of last month's meeting. When I asked you about your affiliation with the DYCD, you had told me that was a personal question. Okay. I'm a little confused at that because you are councilman and you represent this borough, okay, and you are directly affiliated with a league that is taking away from the federal program. Would you please explain to me how that is a personal question?
You didn't specifically ask me that question, Darlene. You were hyper, you were unprofessional.
Really?
My job as a council person is to represent the residents of Eddystone. Not just the borough, us up here, it's the residents of Eddystone. And I feel that's what I'm doing. Whether it's with the Eddystone Recreation, whether it's with another organization that can provide youth sports, and an organization that residents want to join.
Now, is there any reason why you and a few other residents decided to create this DYC club? Why did you all feel it was necessary to create another league and not work together with the other residents, specifically
And I'll go back
the
to
rec
Darlene.
board?
I was removed as overseeing the rec board back in, I would say July, due to political retaliation. I was removed from that, as well as other committees. I was also not included in any of the ongoings of the recreation. So as I discussed with Mr. Stewart, I will take my skills elsewhere where they're needed and promote a rec club or a youth club in which there's no politics involved.
And I don't like the fact that you just called me unprofessional.
You were very unprofessional.
No, I was not. I think you need to go back and watch the tape.
I did, many times.
Yeah.
And people sent me messages, so
Ms.
thank you.
Jones, anything else that you'd
Yeah,
like to
I
bring to
also want
council?
to see if you've heard anything from Hope and Warren Quinn regarding records.
No,
I know you
have
reached
not.
out to them, asking them to provide you with
No, I have
prior
not.
records.
No, just to bring you up to speed on the actions that have been taken by Borough Council regarding the Delco Youth Club. There was a letter that was written to the school board. The letter was read aloud at the workshop meeting last Tuesday. Essentially what we were asking the school board to do was to not issue a permit for the use of the gymnasium at the Eddystone Elementary School. Understanding the mission or the purpose of the youth organization, certainly we're not going to stand in the way of anybody that wants to do something for the children. This organization, from what I believe, exists not just for the children of Eddystone, but it is opened up to the members of the Ridley School District. I believe they were also looking at potentially opening it up to anybody that from Delaware County that wanted to participate. The position that we essentially took with the school board in a nutshell is that Eddystone isn't necessarily big enough to support two programs. We have a solid program through our Eddystone Rec. The fact that this organization is going to exist in Eddystone is obviously going to detract from some of the folks that, our kids that wanted to play in Eddystone Rec may elect to go to DYC, which they have every right to do so. However, what it does is it will create a fractured program for us, and what I believe personally to be a fractured program for them, just simply because we're not big enough to support two programs. The school board has issued them a permit. They have the right to use, I believe, both Amesland as well as Eddystone Gymnasium. However, there is a clause that their use of the Eddystone gym is to not conflict with the activities of our recreation.
Okay. One more thing, Ms. Thompson. Oh, about the DYC. There is a Facebook page out there. Why am I blocked from seeing that site? Why is that a private?
You keep bringing up DYC, it's no different than any private business.
So you're only allowing whoever you want to allow to do
the membership
that.
has access to the page.
That's it, nobody else.
And again, there's no need for me to discuss it because has nothing to do with you.
And that's what you need to keep in mind, Ms. Jones, that it is a private organization.
Yeah.
It's an organization that, they can set whatever fees they want to set. They can offer whatever programs they want to offer. It is a private athletic organization. It's their business. What we provide from Eddystone Recreation is it is funded through our local government. Therefore, there has to be that transparency. Our rec board meetings, they have to be open to the public. The minutes to those rec board meetings, if somebody from the public wants to, request a right to know, because there is government money that is being used to fund that program, we have to operate in the open government laws. Whereas the DYC, that is a private organization, they basically can do whatever they want to do, as long as it conforms with the guidelines of the IRS, and it is not our business to police them.
Darlene, what records are, you didn't elaborate on, what records were you looking for if they're hoping to win? You keep bringing that up, but I'm unsure what you're looking for.
There are no meeting minutes from any previous rec board meetings. There are no financial reports out there. The children's birth certificates are nowhere to be found. All the child abuse clearances for the coaches and volunteers, nowhere to be found. So that's what, we were asking for.
And that, and I'll touch on that just very briefly, that goes into the oversight. The way the council should approach recreation is that we are simply a liaison to the board.
I agree with that. Go on.
Recreation is basically 9 individuals who reside in this borough that are charged with the responsibility of not only putting on youth programs, but also coordinating and planning all of the other community events that we have. You've got the toy giveaway, you have the Easter egg hunt, you have the Memorial Day parade. These are all activities that the rec board is responsible for delivering to the residents of Eddystone. What Borough Council's responsibility is to basically work with your leadership, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, identify, okay, how much is it going to cost to put a fireworks display on for Memorial Day? How much money is it going to cost to put uniforms together? How much money is it to go to a out-of-town tournament? And, you know, work with you financially to make sure that you are supported to complete that mission. And that is what Borough Council's responsibility should be, and that's where it should be limited to. It is not a member of this board to go in there and tell you, okay, you buy red uniforms, or you buy blue uniforms.
Right.
You know, that recommendation comes from you. It is our responsibility to say, hey, you know, instead of buying the $20 tank tops, can we get away with a $15 t-shirt?
Right. I understand that, but we have no money trail, nothing. So for all those years.
And that's
that
where
COVID
I'm going to
norm,
look to
we're in there.
Councilman Patterson, who is the chair. And I would look to, just like I would look to Councilwoman Thompson, who had led it in previous years.
I mean, how much money were they bringing in? How much money were they putting out? Nothing's there.
Darlene, I would suggest that you sit down and speak to Dave. I know for the period, it was Kevin, and then it was Suzanne, and then it was myself who came in March with no financial records whatsoever. I created a spreadsheet for Hope Quinn to follow. I know Hope followed it to the T up until, I guess, I'm not even sure when she was removed. All that information, at least for the year that I was there, at least for the period that I was there, was handed over to Dave with all receipts.
A spreadsheet was handed to Dave.
You got it with all the receipts.
Look,
You got it.
get it straight.
I read the letter. Okay.
Any other questions?
That's all I have. I'm good. Thank you.
Mr. Orr, if you would mind, I will put you down as number 5.
Well, can we do it now? We're talking about this.
Absolutely.
Do we have records? Any time for the borough record?
Podium.
Treasury report?
Would you want to come to the?
No, I'm ready. I'm fine. Do we have any records, Karen?
I would have to go back and look. I don't know.
Karen, you're treasurer. Do we have any records?
I'm not president.
Treasurer. Do we have any records or records?
You're also not treasurer.
I'm also not treasurer,
You're
Ralph.
chair of
You said
finance.
last month. Do you have any records on anything about that?
On what?
On recreation, Dave?
No, I haven't been handed anything. I'm supposed to get quarterly reports. And where's my quarterly reports for the wing committee, Ralph? You want to bring it up?
You had no records for 9, 10, 11 on records? None. No treasury reports, nothing.
I'm sure there's reports somewhere.
Tim, did I put a right to know about recreation? Did you answer it?
Did you put it in?
Yes. And you have no records for 9, 10, 11, you told me.
And who was?
No records or no minutes?
No minutes,
Because I'm
no-
sure,
no
I'm sure that there are
treasury
records.
report.
I'm
No
sure that
treasury
the borough
reports.
issued a check
Wait,
to pay
wait.
for uniforms.
No treasury report.
I'm sure the
Excuse
borough
me, Mr.
issued a check.
President, can I finish?
Sure.
I put the right to know in. My answer was no records.
Records
That
or
was my
minutes?
answer.
Records or minutes? Because there's a
Minutes,
difference
treasury
between
report.
minutes and records.
Can I finish?
Sure.
Come up to the podium.
No, I'm fine right here. There's no treasury report.
Why is he special?
No minutes, nothing.
Comes up here and don't have.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying to you. I put a right to know in. That's all I had to say about it.
I will have to find out who the council liaison was at the time that you had put the records in.
Right, that's all
And
I
ask
had
for
to
that same responsibility
Right.
is that, you know, that's, basically, that's what we're looking for, is
Right.
to make sure that there is transparency
Mr. President,
in the way that the business is
That was
being
never
conducted.
brought up until Dave and Karen came to Recreation Board. That's when it started. And I'm glad what you said about keeping politics out of recreation.
Yes.
That was a good point. That was a good point. I appreciate that.
Can I answer?
Thank you.
And it was also Danielle who brought up the transparency. She wants everybody to be transparent. I was trying to be transparent, Ralph.
Is that why you want the radio communication too?
Oh,
Stop funding
yeah.
for the school?
Oh, not for the school.
Yes, you did.
I didn't go for the school.
Yes, you did.
It's not related to the
Once-
school.
The
once
president
it-
went
once it-
down there.
once
The
again-
president
once
went
again,
down there.
And I believe you're making reference to
You know what I'm
a
talking about.
WIN committee
That's right.
request. There were several months ago
Right.
that Borough Council took a look at where the WIN committee money was kept.
No, not that. This
The
was
WIN
just
committee
recently,
money,
last month.
can I finish?
Last month.
May I finish?
No, go ahead.
It was determined that the WIN committee money was held in an account under the Borough EIN, and a letter was written to the WIN committee basically saying the money doesn't belong in a borough account under the Borough EIN number. A cashier's check for the full amount was issued to the WIN committee, along with a letter that said that the WIN committee has an important mission, that your mission needs to continue. It is for the benefit of the children. Take this money, put this money in an account that is appropriate for the organization that you have, and continue to do the good work that you've done for years. That is the same way with the DYC. Okay, if the DYC wants to do something that is to benefit children, then hats off to the DYC.
But that's been going on for 3 other mayors, not just me. So don't say it was just me using the borough tax number. Every mayor did it. Every mayor.
Can you document that?
Every
The
mayor
Attorney
did it.
General's office, you
Every-
got a letter
yes.
from the Attorney General's
Yes.
office that told you not to use
Did
borough letterhead.
you go
not
to
act-
radio communication last month?
No, I did not go.
Yes,
I made a phone call.
The question I have is that borough related?
No.
Okay, then it's not appropriate to be brought up in this forum.
Then why is people, council person went to radio communication about it? Then why is he bringing it up? Mr. Stewart?
The only other comment that I'm going to make is that in terms of the rec board, just to be clear, Norm Quinn submitted his letter of resignation. He was not removed.
Wait a minute, Bill. Man, you changed the lock, you removed me from recreation. That's politics.
You were removed
I
from
understand that. I understand. That's politics. I understand that. I understand that. The locks were changed the next day. So don't tell me it was. And he never got the key. So don't say they weren't changed. Come on.
He stopped showing up.
So he can't call anyone and say, what's the deal? The door's locked.
I'd like to
Come on,
make
Steve,
a couple
let's
of
see.
corrections here real
Yeah,
quick, okay? First of all, I said this last month and I'll say it again this month. There was nothing politically about you being removed from being the liaison of rec board.
Yes, sir,
You
let's
can
see.
either, let me finish,
I remember
I did not
meeting
interrupt
minutes?
you while you were speaking, can I speak please?
Sure, Dave, go ahead.
Thank you. You were on the rec board and you were the liaison. You cannot be both. If there was anything that was political about that, was how you got on the rec board. And that you were covering the rec board and being the liaison. And you turned, I'm gonna go right to the removal. Let's go to the removal.
All 3
You
committees
just
that I
turned
chaired.
around and shared that Hope and Norm were removed. Anyone can come up here this evening, after this meeting, and see all 3 of these resignations. I did not remove good volunteers.
Can I ask what they're dated?
They are dated for the 25th, but they were turned in on August 27th.
Okay, and they already had the other form lead. The other lead already was formed.
They applied for the same application the same day that they delivered the resignation.
But that is Norm Quinn and Hope Quinn right. If they want to have their own private organization, they have all the right in the world to have a private organization.
Thank you.
And again, that's not a borough company, so why is he even being brought up here?
Well, I'm just bringing up the correction
I'm
because
just
you
bringing
said
up
I
the DYC, you just
removed.
said it about the Quinn committee.
The only thing with DYC,
I would like to make a comment. Go ahead, okay? I'm gonna make a comment. When I was on Borough Rec many years ago, it wasn't just a name. If you were a member of Borough Rec, you attended the meetings. You came to the Easter parade, the Easter function. You showed up to help do the candy. When it came to Memorial Day, you came and helped. Help with hot dogs, or the lady needed help, or whatever. You showed up if you're on Borough Rec. You don't stop coming just because whatever. You join Borough Rec, not to just say you're Borough Rec. You actually have to come to meetings and do the work. If you can't make a meeting, then call someone who was at the meeting and say, I couldn't make it, the kids were sick, I was sick, but you gotta apply yourself. You know, that's what I just don't get.
but I'm going to disagree with you slightly in the fact that Norm Quinn, Hope Quinn, they put the time in up at that Lighthouse Hall.
I agree with
They
that.
put their
I'm
time
saying
in.
anyone who says
And
they don't,
I'll also go on the record to say that, you know, I personally reached out to both Norm and Hope. I gave them, from the president's chair, my support. Told them I vowed whatever support he needs. When I got the phone call that said, hey, I'm up there every night, and, you know, I don't know which end is up, my comment to Norm and Hope is that you have 9 other members of the rec board.
right,
As the president of rec board,
right.
or the chair of the board, whatever you want to call Norm's, the ability to be able to guide that program however he wanted to guide it.
That's true. And another thing I didn't understand, why Hope had two positions, secretary and treasurer, on the same committee. She was overwhelmed. Of course she was overwhelmed. She had two positions, so I suggested to her, pick one.
But it gets into what the purpose of this board is.
Right.
Our purpose is to act as the liaison.
Right,
to
and
the
that was my
recreation
liaison
board.
recommendation, pick a board, secretary or treasurer, not both.
The secretary would be in charge of the records, correct?
Yes.
Where are the records?
Secretary would be in
Mr.
charge
Martin.
of the minutes.
Mr. Martin.
Thank you. I'm going to be as calm as I possibly can, so just deal with me. All right. It might take a little long, but I'll be all right. First, I want to overall thank Danielle for everything she's done for our kids. I don't care what anybody else says.
Absolutely.
She was wonderful. My daughter loved, even with Bill, playing softball with you. And
She's great.
right.
Thank you.
So what she's done for the kids is a positive.
Absolutely.
People can say what they want. This nitpicking going back and forth is just getting old. It really is. I mean, you're all grown-ups. If we all can't get along for our kids, you all need to step back.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. And I think everyone up there would agree with that. This has just been going on for too many years. And now, the next thing I just want to say is something about this basketball. With the new league that's coming in, I just don't understand, from what I understand actually right now, is you guys have it Saturday and Sunday at the school. First foremost.
Right.
I don't see why kids can't play for both. We're during the week, you're on the weekend, kids love playing basketball.
Sure.
Why can't they do both? I don't see no big deal with that. The people who are going to suffer through this is going to be the kids.
Absolutely.
They already are.
Because
Yeah.
just let me say this,
It's the kids that suffer.
some of the adults are already
Right.
starting.
And
I
it's a
already
shame.
lost 5 people off of Facebook already. I don't
It's a
even know
shame.
why.
It's a shame.
I didn't even do anything. I didn't say nothing or anything. But people are starting to pick and choose, and the town's going to go like this again.
Well, that's why it was created, so
And-
that would
Will be
happen.
at the bottom.
Well, I don't know why
Okay.
it was created.
That's why-
I'm not going to go
that's why
against
it was
anybody. The
created.
bottom line is, it's about our children. Let's
Absolutely.
keep it about our children. Let them play for both sides. Let it be fair.
Mr. Martin, to be clear, there's not
What?
one single child from Eddystone or a member of the Ridley School District area that does not play for a program elsewhere that would be turned away if they wanted to sign up for Eddystone Rec.
No, I fully understand that, but you have to understand, my point is the Eddystone kids should come first.
Yes.
I'm not worried about what's out in Ridley, Balsam.
I agree.
Millmont Park.
I agree.
Eddystone should be first. Our kids should be playing all the time
Right.
if they want to play.
Right.
Not, well, you're going to have to play here, but if you play for them, you're not going to play for us.
And that's wrong.
Because let me tell you something, any adult that gives a child a choice like that, you should be whipped. That's a disgrace, to give a child a choice.
I will repeat, there's not one single child in Eddystone who wants to play for Eddystone Rec who would be turned away.
And I agree, but I just hope that you would talk to Norm and hope and let the kids join in together.
John, I'll say the same thing that I said. No kids were recruited. Nobody was told, don't play for there, play here. Nobody was given that information. The parents brought their kids. You know, the parents are the parents. If the parents are going to bring their kids there, they're going to bring their kids there.
Well, that's my one other question, then I'll step back because I gotta go home. I gotta get up at 2 o'clock. Everybody talks about what a great job Norm did. Okay, what was so great that he did that John Lyman, Lou Torres, Mike Iannacci, what's his name?
Bill Corcoran.
Bill Corcoran, no, that they didn't do. They did everything the same.
Right.
I just don't understand why he's getting so much praise and these other gentlemen are not getting nothing out of it. I just don't understand that. I know Norm did a good job. Hope did a great job. I get along with them, but now they took me off their Facebook. But I still get along with them. You know, I have no problem with them. But the issue I have is basically all these kids need to do this together.
Exactly.
Don't break up friendships and all that.
In response to that, Mr. Martin, is that the Borough of Eddystone it was in receipt of a letter dated the 25th of August 2014 where Norm Quinn, who at the time was president of Eddystone Recreation, resigned his position.
Right.
The following Tuesday, a meeting of the Recreation Board was held. The board was reorganized. Whatever members left the board were immediately, new members were appointed. A new president was elected. Lou Torres now has the torch.
Right.
and Lou Torres will carry the torch again, just like Norm Quinn
I
did.
was never asked, Bill.
Norm
Thanks
Quinn
a lot.
did, and Johnny Lyman, and Mike Iannacci. You know, Eddystone Recreation is strong. It'll continue to be strong, and we'll continue to make sure that we provide programs for not only the children, but also for all the members of the community through all the community events that we do.
And I agree
We
with that.
reorganized, we've got new ideas, and we'll continue business as usual.
But I just want these kids that have their friendships to remain friendships.
Absolutely.
Not to say, well, I'm gonna go here, because all it's gonna lead to fights. These police officers are gonna be doing stuff they shouldn't even be doing, worrying about these young kids fist fighting and all that, because that's what's gonna happen. So let them all just play, and everyone's happy. That's it. Norm will be happy, they'll be happy, you guys will be happy, and our rec will be happy. That's it. That's the solution to everything, right here, to stop this nonsense.
One last point. Go
ahead.
I said it at the last workshop meeting last Tuesday, and I sent Councilwoman Reeves to the school board meeting to make the same statement, and I will make it again this evening. If any member of the DYC would like to rejoin Eddystone Recreation, they're welcome back. If that organization, for some reason, folds this year, next year, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, if Norm Quinn wants to come back and coach, Norm Quinn is more than welcome to come back and coach.
Yeah, would you mention that to Norm?
I'm sure we'll see the video, John.
Oh, it's on video? How do you know that? But I just like to do that. I mean, this is to keep the town strong. No reason to separate. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Kelly Buckus, you good? Jeff Hastings. Mr. Hastings, what's your address?
1302 East 10th Street. I had a question. Well, I actually have one for the chief now, too. You were saying on Thursday you did a sweep, and you announced all the people that were arrested or whatever, and went in front of Turner. But this, I don't want to harp on this because it's not really that big of a deal to me. But I was one of the people arrested for a warrant that I didn't have. And I missed work that day. And I understand, I'm not saying you didn't have a warrant as far as paperwork or whatever, but there was a mistake made. And when I asked the officer, can he look into it, he just said, you're going to jail. And maybe in the future, if something can be changed to where that doesn't happen.
Regarding your incident, I wasn't there when you were picked up, obviously, and I did not mention any names that were conducted during the warrant sweep. The one warrant you were talking about was mistakenly issued by district court. The officer had to own the warrant list. He didn't know until they contacted district court. The second was there was a second warrant out of River Township that was held by Constable Patina that you stood up and you made payments on. That's how the incident was handled.
Okay. Well,
But if you have a complaint or you want to talk to me about something, I'll be more than glad to meet anytime.
Okay. Well, I guess I do have a complaint, because at the time I was pulled over, I let Officer Pretty know I had a 2-year-old daughter in the car, and nobody never checked on her the whole time. And 2 officers took me, they put me in the police car. I announced to them again, I have a daughter in the car. The only question was, how old is she? I said 2. Okay? Sat in the back of the police car, again, no one went and checked on her or opened the door. I'm just saying, maybe in the future, and listen, I was pulled over for doing something wrong. I was driving without a license, and I accept the consequences. But what I can't accept, the fact is that my daughter was sitting in the car, and out of 3 officers, nobody could walk over and check on her.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Hastings, please come in this evening and we'll discuss it privately.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address council through the public forum? Nobody else looking to address council through the public forum? Mr. Vicente, can you present the treasurer's report?
Mr. President, the balance of the general fund of Eddystone effective August 31st, 2014 is $561,189. We had expenditures over revenues in the amount of $25,484. We had payroll expenditures of $97,200. The balance of the general fund of the Borough of Eddystone effective September 30th, 2014 is $438,432.
Council, you've heard the treasurer's report for the month of September 2014. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read and make it part of the permanent minutes.
Second.
I have a motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Cash receipts and disbursements journal.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. President, that we accept the cash receipts report and disbursements fund, all bills be paid and all monies deposited.
Motion made and seconded. Or Mr. Patterson, are you seconding?
Yes.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Code enforcement report for the month of September 2014.
Mr. President, 27 inspections were performed, 13 work stop orders and/or violations and/or citations were issued, 32 work permits were issued, 18 licenses were issued, and the Code Enforcement Department received fees in the amount of $19,914.23.
Council, you've heard the code enforcement report for September 2014. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept September's code enforcement report as read and make part of permanent minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Vicente, the police report.
Mr. President, the Eddystone Police Department had 411 calls for service in September. They issued 139 citations. They had responded to 4 accidents. They had calls for 28 thefts. They issued 37 parking citations in the month, and the police department made 34 criminal arrests in September.
Council, you've heard the police report for the month of September 2014. May I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the September police report as read and make part of permanent minutes.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Fire report, sir.
Mr. President, the fire company responded to 27 alarms, 13 day and 14 by night. During the month, members also attended a tour at the Eddystone Rail Company. This was to assist them with understanding the facility operations and general knowledge they will use in the event of an emergency at the plant. Also, Chief Walsh noted Fire Prevention Week is October 5th to the 11th, and the elementary school will be escorting students to the fire station for lessons and activities on fire safety.
Council, you've heard the fire report for the month of September 2014. May I have a motion to accept?
So ordered, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion made second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is anybody here from the fire department? You are. Mayor,
Yes.
what's the saying? Fall back and spring ahead?
Fall back and bring it.
And this being the fire department, I know you have smoke detectors.
Yep.
If anybody wanted a smoke detector for the house,
Down
and
the station.
now is a good time also to change your 9-volt battery if you do have a 9-volt battery in your smoke detector because it's fall
I
back.
believe it's November 2nd, I think it is.
Time change. Time change.
Yes.
It is the first Sunday in November.
Councilwoman Thompson, you brought forward the Eddystone Borough electronic communication policy. Anything you want to share before we take action on it?
No, but I believe, this may be in the employee handbook process.
We can make it, we can, once we enter it into a policy, then we can also incorporate it into the employee handbook as well. Members of council, any questions about the electronic communication policy before I call for action? At this time, I'll entertain a motion for the Borough of Eddystone to accept the electronic communication policy.
Make a motion for the borough to accept the electronic communication policy. Second.
Motion made in second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. before I go to the cell phone stipend policy, Chief Macheski, I know that I've charged you with the responsibility of starting to coordinate a little bit with Mr. Gleam and making sure that we do have an emergency management meeting scheduled. Have you had the opportunity to schedule that meeting yet with Mr. Gleam?
Yeah, Mr. Glen and myself will meet tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're going to discuss some emergency management issues, the issuance of the new ID cards, and I'm going to explain to Bob the code red system.
That's tomorrow, which is the 14th,
That's correct.
4 o'clock?
Yes.
And I know as part of the code red system, you've got that opportunity that we can log in our emergency contact information. I also know that one of the purposes of doing the cell phone stipend policy is to make sure that we're capturing the telephone numbers of folks that would be called into action in the event that we do have an emergency, and this list would also be published with the Delaware County Emergency Management with Larry Bach. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for the borough to accept the cell phone stipend policy.
I'll make a motion to approve the cell phone stipend policy.
Motion made in second. All in favor? Aye. Can I do a roll call, please, Mr. Vicente?
Ms. Thompson?
Aye.
Ms. Tasher?
Aye.
Ms. Reeves?
Aye.
Mr. Patterson?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Donahue? President Stewart?
Aye. Motion carried unanimous. Our solicitor, Mr. Bloom, you had briefed counsel earlier with the ongoing litigation at the with the firehouse.
Correct.
And you've been so kind as to let us know that there is actually a settlement conference.
Settlement conference with the federal magistrate judge on November 5, 2014.
And what the borough needs to take action on, my understanding is that we need to provide somebody the authority to attend the conference on behalf of the borough that is able to make a decision if the judge was to offer a settlement. Is that correct?
Correct. The judge requires someone for each party be present with decision-making capabilities.
Well, may I make a motion that William Stewart, as President of Council, authorized to attend the settlement conference as representative of the borough, scheduled for November 5th, 2014, in the matter of Eddystone Borough versus Peter Borough, general contractors, participate in the settlement conferences, and make decisions on behalf of the borough regarding the terms and conditions of any proposed settlements and whether to accept or reject any settlement. Proposals put forth at the settlement conference regarding either the borough's claims against Borough Contracting or Borough Construction against the borough.
Second.
Motion made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If I can take this and Mr. Vicente for the purposes of the meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Borough Council, any other action to be taken this evening? With no further action, upcoming public meetings and events, the Ladies Auxiliary is scheduled for the first annual, correct? Cow Pie Bingo, and that will be at Don Marion Field. Ms. Gross, would you like to just say a few words about the Cow Pie Bingo?
Sure. It's going to start at 12 o'clock. Cal arrives at 4. It's more of a community fun day. There's things that are free for the kids to do. Everything doesn't, cost. But you can come out, you can bring your lunch and just hang out and have fun with the community and show the support. So there's going to be a food swap there if you're interested in that. Dan Patterson is running that. There's moon bounces, there's games, there's prizes, tug of war we hope to have between the police officers and the fire department. I know the fire department is lining up a few guys. So just come on out and enjoy the day with the community.
Exotic musical chairs for the adults?
Yes, and musical chairs for the adults.
For the adults, that should be fun.
No counting.
No counting.
Recreation Board, the meeting is next Tuesday, the 21st. Councilman Patterson?
Yes, President Torres would like to have an open house, clear up any confusion with the two leagues, Eddystone and the other league, and also have like a meet and greet with the new rec board members. They did take a vote. Lou Torres will be president. Vice president will be Darlene Jones. Treasurer will be Teresa Corcoran. And secretary will be Amy Riley. And that's Tuesday the 21st at 7 o'clock.
That'll be at Lighthouse Hall?
At Lighthouse Hall, correct.
And that is an advertised meeting, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Vicente, I was advised by our treasurer that our first budget meeting for planning the 2015 budget is going to be on Tuesday evening, the 28th at 6 o'clock here in Borough Council Chambers. That meeting has not been advertised, so if you could...
But will be.
Will be. 6 o'clock. Our next council workshop meeting will be Monday the 6th of November at 7. A week later is the regular council meeting on the 13th of November at 7. On the 24th of November, a series of meetings. 6 o'clock will be the meeting of the Committee for Administration and Policy, followed by a Finance and Audit, and then at 7:30 would be the budget meeting number 2. That meeting has not been advertised, Mr. Vicente, so we'll have to advertise the meeting on the 24th.
Well, I don't think the dates are right.
You know I've had a long day.
Well, our caucus meeting is on the 3rd, and our council meeting is on the 10th of November.
03010,
Yes.
which means that the 25th is the right meeting.
25th is on a Monday.
25th is on a Tuesday, according to my calendar.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
I was wrong in the minutes, but I'm right on that. Yes, 25th, so it'll be the 25th. I'm sorry, Tim. Tuesday, the 28th, will be budget meeting number 1 that needs to be advertised.
Okay.
Budget meeting number 2 is going to be the 25th at 7:30, which will need to be advertised.
All three of those meetings are on the 25th instead of the 24th?
That's correct. It's right on the website, it's just wrong in my notes. This is what happens when you send out agendas at the last minute.
Can I add something on that?
Sure.
I would like to, on November 9th, Sunday, November 9th, at Joe Hughes Memorial Hall, I would like to officially retire out Ray Rodden, Alan, Lieutenant Irati, and Tommy Riley. And I'd like to have a borough-wide community potluck type dinner. It's on a Sunday, the 9th, so that we can, Mike, we'll have to have someone do a resolution for these 4 guys, so that the resolution can be given out at the meeting on the 10th.
Okay.
But I'd like to invite the community, make it a community-wide, so that I'm sure that there's people out there that would like to express their thanks. I mean, 3 of the 4 officers were born and raised in this town, and the other one raised 2 families, so.
That's on the 9th?
That's on the 9th, we do it from 1 to 5. November 9th. You still have some stuff, but the most of it, the community was the one that said that it would be nice to do the cover dish. So.
Any other events?
Halloween.
The same thing. Good.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to mention that for the trick-or-treat night, and the police will be out there with their lights.
Crossing guards.
Is Halloween on the 31st?
I just popped in my head, I get it where it's going.
That's on a Friday evening?
What? Oh, right.
So
What
trick or
time?
treat is on the 31st.
I think it's a Friday.
Yeah,
What time?
Fridays.
I'm suggesting 6 to 8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. Sorry.
I think sometimes.
Chief, I know you bring in extra duty officers on Mischief Night as well as Halloween. From a shift perspective, what works best for you for bringing extra officers in?
6 to 8 works.
6 to 8 works perfect. With no other public meetings or events, there was one notation under an action item, which was the review of the proposals that we received from both Catania Engineering as well as Vicente and Associates to provide code enforcement services for the borough. Unfortunately, council did not have a proper opportunity to review the proposals. There's some questions that were posed during executive session during that process. So we will table any action on that item until next meeting. However, Dallas is leaving for Florida last Friday, right? Was his last day? Yeah, but his last day with the borough was last Friday. Mr. Lyman, if I could ask, I know that you are coordinating with our buildings inspection. If you can elevate your role in actually serving as our code enforcement officer until council has an opportunity to review the other proposals, is that acceptable to you?
No problem at all.
Perfect.
We're keeping you on. You're okay with the time, John?
Yeah, there's no problem. It was a hard time in the past and shouldn't be a problem now.
We're okay, you don't need anybody covering phones or anything?
No, I want to get everything transferred to my one cell phone. Like the stipend idea is excellent idea, and I get today's technology, it makes everything easier. You get all your emails right to your phone. So.
Okay.
What
Thank you, John.
I can do, John, is I can actually work with our IT guy and get a Borough of Eddystone email address set up for you. That way, things that are being sent to John or to Dallas presently, I can have him forward that information to you and then set up a jlyman@eddystoneborough.org address as well.
Okay.
All right.
That's perfect.
General updates, the website, www.eddystoneboro.org is up and running. The webmaster is reporting that traffic is picking up as folks discover it. She is working right now with Bob Kaleem, who was the originator of the eddystoneboro.com address, and we're in the process of switching over. So from a Google search standpoint, if you Google search Eddystone Borough, we will be the first spot that comes up on the Google search. So once that happens, then traffic is going to pick up tremendously. We did complete update number 1. That was actually launched this afternoon, so if you were to go home this evening, just to let you know how real time we are, there is a spot on there for Patrol Officer Signor. So he is already on the website. I did not put an email address out here for him yet, just simply because I didn't want to get too far ahead of the chief. But that's there, so we are constantly updating the website with real-time information. Also, the Code Red, if you wanted to give a couple seconds about the Code Red, Chief.
Yeah, we did a test announcement on the Code Red on 9/24 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was pretty successful, but it only went out to the phone numbers that were imported from Delcom, the 911 center. We need to be proactive out there to the residents and support residents to subscribe to the Code Red software so we're able to get the borough messages out. I propose that we do a community event such as the Calipi Bingo, that we provide a laptop with an air card, an officer, or someone out there representing the borough to help some of the residents who don't have internet access to log into the Code Red software or have a chance to opt out.
Bill, also, I know that you're fixing it, but when I went in to search to do my Code Red, I put in eddystoneborough.org, and it came up, are you sure you don't want eddystoneborough.com? So that might have been a confusion for other people,
We're
too.
in the process of
Right, I'm just
fixing that
saying
now. Yep.
that might have been a problem.
Well, would you go in through Google?
It's done. Chief, can I put you in the hot seat first?
I sure can. We did our drug take back. We did our drug take back on September 9th. We only received 2 pounds of prescription drugs, but I look at it, there's 2 pounds of prescription drugs out of the homes now that aren't being used. We're still on the list to get a permanent drug drop-off box to put out in the lobby, just waiting for the funds to come in from the county. And I want to elaborate on what Claire was talking about. Unfortunately, one of our residents was a victim of a scam that's commonly used by burglars as a distraction technique. And in this instance, they went to this woman, they said, hey, we're doing work for the borough, we want to see your property line. She did the proper thing, she locked her front door, went out back, they followed her out back, she's talking to someone in the garage. But one of the 2 subjects says he has a phone call, has to move on. She's out there 20, 30 minutes speaking to the second actor. First actor returns, they jump in the truck, they drive off before she even knows they were in her house. This incident has occurred in other municipalities in Delaware County. Our department is teaming up with these other municipalities because the one actor described in this incident matches an actor that was in the Darby incident. Actually, we have a meeting with CID, and we know this is an investigation underway. So what I would say to residents is, if someone comes to your door soliciting, whether they say they're from PICO, the Water Company, or the Borough, and you have any questions or concerns about them, you can call 911, have an officer come check them out. You can call PICO and find out if that person's supposed to be coming and servicing you today, and you can call the Borough office and see if they're licensed by Code Enforcement. And watch out for your neighbors. If you see someone having a hard time, call them.
You had mentioned when you briefed us at executive session that the police department is looking to expand the tips at Eddystone PD website, and also to put a phone number that is dedicated towards nothing but having a resident's call and providing a tip of something that needs to be investigated. Can you give us a timeline on when you think that would be implemented?
We should have a number up and running for the secondary line by next council meeting. I wasn't able to get it all together before tonight's meeting. I believe that people are having a problem with the tips.com because not everyone is computer savvy. I figure if they have the option of picking up the phone and leaving a message, they may more easily look at what we're doing.
But just a caution, if you're going to use the tips at EddystonePD.com, or if you're going to be putting a call-in telephone, you know, that is not going to solicit an immediate response from our police department. If you need an officer to respond, if you need a report issued, the protocol is to call 911.
The only other thing is for Halloween, please have your kids stop by the police department. We'll be handing out candy. Our officers will be out making sure the children are safe. Crossing guards will be out, and the fire police will be out also. Also, we'll have the staff out for the elementary school parade. Will be in the afternoon.
Mayor Reeves.
I'm good.
Councilman Donahue.
I have some questions. A few months ago, I asked for a copy I'm on the police committee and council. I asked for a copy of the police contract, police officer contract. People ask me questions and I can't answer because I don't have a copy of the contract. They're either called agreements or I'm a union guy. I have, this is mine. And I know last year in 2013, we settled this. So what did we settle? I don't know why I can't get a copy.
I have no idea. I wasn't part of the unit.
Okay. If you have a question, what do you go to? I mean, you're a police officer.
What has happened in the past was that the borough never sat down to consolidate the contract like they were instructed to do years ago. So there are bits and pieces of the contract all over the place. I have copies of everything. I believe Joe Pretty had copies of everything.
When we signed, when the council's.
I don't know if the borough ever saves their copies or not.
Okay. Is there any way of me getting a copy of the contract?
I can get you something with just about everything I address.
Another thing I have.
And before you jump, that that's a responsibility as the mayor. It would not be his responsibility to produce a consolidated contract with the police department. The borough council is the one that enters into the contract with the FOP. So what will, based on your request of the mayor, I'm going to take the lead at this time. Start to work with our solicitor who does all of our legal counsel work. Ask them to reach out to the FOP. Sit down with the FOP rep from Eddystone PD and start to put together what we'll call a consolidated contract. This is everything so that if an officer was to file a grievance, there's one document that we go to make a reference of whether the grievance is valued, has value or merit, as opposed to, well, that's from the contract that we did 3 contracts ago, which is kind of the...
That's what we went through for the last 20-plus years.
What time to meet, right?
We should have, well, the borough was ordered to do it by an arbitrator years ago.
Okay.
Well,
Now we'll do it.
Councilman Donahue, we have, every year, we'll put together goals for every committee, and the #1 goal for the police committee for 2015 was to be able to get a consolidated contract in the first quarter.
Okay. And I'm receiving complaints on, and I kind of drove around, the buses going up and down Eddystone Avenue. School buses. I drove down there, I guess, leaving the parking lot that the school buses leave. And right when you get to the Eddystone Avenue stop sign there, it has 2 signs. And the signs say, all school buses use 291 unless local pickup. They're not. If we wrote any tickets, I mean, they're going down right, because it's easier for them, I get it. But I followed one today, this morning, that went to 9th Street and actually turned left. It's confusing.
9th Street?
No, he went out of town. He went over the bridge.
Okay, I
didn't follow him.
Majority of the buses that do go up Eddystone Avenue do have local pickups, or they're right up from Woodland.
And there might be some, and I'm sure there are some.
There are.
But we have a lot of buses that are not going down 291. And I get it's easier for them, but we have an ordinance apparently.
Yeah, there is no ordinance.
Well, there's 2 signs that say local pickups only. It says to go down 291.
Those signs are not, those signs are not covered by an ordinance, if you look in the book.
Okay,
They were put up there. Yes.
Who put them up there? Who put the signs up?
I have no idea who put them up. I imagine the highway guys did.
So, are we, do them signs mean anything, Josh?
Mr. Dunham?
Just like
I wasn't aware that the bus traffic was becoming an ongoing problem. However, we can recognize the situation by sending a letter
I see a bus dropping off kids.
Councilman Donahue. Councilman Donahue, did you grab a bus number? Okay.
I will stop down, I will remind the dispatcher down there to let everybody know if you're not making local pickups, to go up and around.
Well, you can't issue a ticket if there's no law or ordinance.
Well, there's 2 signs, that when they leave their bus stop,
Right.
when they hit the stop sign, there's 2 signs.
I understand that, but a sign means nothing if there's nothing to back it up in law.
That's on this.
There's nothing you can do. I just told you it's not covered by law.
Somebody put the sign up a long time ago. Yeah, years ago, the sign was put up.
I mean, that's one of the only signs I can read.
There's a lot of signs like that.
You gotta take the sign down.
Councilman Donahue, anything else?
Bang, bang.
And I haven't seen the bike patrol, I guess they're done.
No, they're not done. The reason why they weren't out is because they're short staffed. They will be coming back out there for the end of October.
To the end of October?
Yes, through Halloween and
Alan, speak up again, they can't hear you.
Councilman Donahue's question was about the bike patrol. The mayor's response was that the bike patrol is going to be redispatched out. They will be out for Mischief Night as well as for Halloween.
Were they out all summer?
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
off and on they were out. Off and on they were out during the summer. We were short-handed.
Oh, we were short-handed and the bikes weren't out. Okay.
You didn't want to, I got to see them.
Thank you.
But the bikes were out.
I agree with that.
Bikes were out.
Councilman Donahue.
Hey, so when will the, saying next year?
When will it finish?
When will it start? Right, October, I guess is our ending of it?
October tradition or our ending, depending on the weather.
When's the beginning?
They start it usually every school.
Memorial Day. Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
I've never seen the schedule, so.
Oh, now we will.
Yeah. And I guess this is the big one, is people have been asking me questions, and I guess I wasn't paying attention about the free dog. We got the free police dog.
Okay.
This training that Mr. Elliott and the dog is going through, this is 6 months long?
Yes, it is.
And the person that donated, bought the dog, he's paying for the training?
The training is going to us free of charge from the Wilmington Police Department. The guy who donated the dog is donating the dog and a car for connect to the guy around.
So how, the training was paid by who?
The training is provided, I guess there's some, that is by Wilmington PD, they're picking up the staff for the training. And we're training at Wilmington Police Academy. The dog and the vehicle for the dog were donated by Frank Biddy.
And just to be cleared, so that there's no confusion, because I know the purpose of the reason why you're asking the question, the borough is paying Officer Elliott to go to training every day.
Yeah, people are asking me questions.
Yes, we pay Officer Elliott.
And then
The service of training Officer Elliott and the service of training the dog is being donated through or free of charge through the Wilmington Police Department. The cost of the animal and the vehicle, that is at no cost to the borough. However, we are paying Officer Elliott's salary.
Who's covering his check?
One of the other officers.
Are we paying for him to?
Yes.
For his whole 6 months?
Yes.
So it's not free?
Yeah, it is free.
It's not free?
No, we're accepting the cost of training.
It's not free.
Okay, anything else there, Councilman Donahue?
So when we did this, when they doing the schedule, we just like kind of rescheduled and not everybody's working overtime on Elliott's.
No, we rotate the shift between what we have for part-time, and if we can't find someone to fill with part-time, we fill with full-time.
And I guess my next question is the signs. You mentioned last meeting, or the meeting before, that we put some stop signs up.
Yes, sir.
Were they old signs that we had, or did we just buy these signs?
There were some signs that Jeaner had in inventory, plus there were some signs that he did buy.
Did we ever get, some of the signs, like one time in this village, they're actually just kind of poked into each other. Did we ever get the schedule, or we ordering new signs? We already approved it.
Well, we have not approved the purchases of any signs. There's not a line item in our budget for 2014 that says there's 500 signs that need to be replaced, and here's what it's going to cost for 500 signs. We do know that there's an issue with the signage in the borough. I've asked previously, and our engineer, Mr. Catania, has said that there has been an inventory of the signs. We just, as a highway committee, have not had the opportunity to sit with Catania and say what signs are necessary, what signs are not necessary, and then start making decisions on how we're going to phase in the replacement of the signs. It's certainly something that needs to be done. As a fellow member of the highway committee, I certainly would accept whatever input you have in terms of, going around and taking a look at signs.
We said we were gonna buy new signs, and then we asked him for the breakdown of it. But I thought at one of our meetings early.
We have not gone through the exercise of identifying sign by sign, what signs need to be replaced, what signs are no longer warranted.
We were going to get.
We talked about getting some. We had it in the budget.
But we are gonna get the.
Yes.
So.
We're going to do a review of all of the signing and marking throughout the borough. And we will identify on a as-needed basis what signs need to be replaced, what pavement striping needs to be modified.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have a question on that note. The stop sign that was destroyed, it was also a one-way sign. on the, there was an accident in front of my house. Wiped the whole side, the stop sign, everything down. How long will that take to get replaced? 'Cause we have cars.
I'll issue a work order with Gina and have it done by the end of the week.
Okay. Thank you.
We were going about a street light for 3 months in front of 12, my mother's house, 1210 Simpson. And it hasn't been done yet, so I hope you get your sign quicker and get the light fixed.
I've asked Gina to take a look with Tony Arena and go through and make sure that
For
light
3
has been
months?
replaced.
For 3 months?
I only knew about it
We're
last.
talking about people that
I
are
only-
scamming
I only-
people.
I only knew about it last
Paying for
meeting.
the light in. Just checking. We'll see how long it takes. I'm
I
gonna
will,
check.
I will
I'm gonna say
encourage
the sign goes
you,
up
I will
before the light.
encourage you, Mr. Connor, to attend next council meeting, and hopefully I will be able to.
Put another request in for the light.
Hopefully you can just say thank you.
I'm not the one who's calling in. Somebody else has been calling in.
Councilwoman Gross.
Have a nice holiday season. If you have grandkids, make sure you have lots of candy on hand. Have a nice Halloween.
Councilman Patterson.
Chief, I just want to say thank you to you, all the folks that supported you with that sweep. Great job. About time. Also, last month, Council President showed our reveal or showing of our website, and what he didn't tell you is that he put over 150 hours easy into that with Hoff Communications, waiting to hear back from folks and everything else. So the pictures that are on that website didn't just pop up there. They were very stretched out for him to get and put it all together, and it had to be done right. So I just wanted to say what a great job he did. Also, also just a reminder of the open house for Tuesday, October 21st, 7 o'clock, rec board. And Mr. President, I just need you to get with Chrissy Groyd about updating the rec center on the website.
It's already done.
Okay, thank you very much.
You mean the board? The names of the board members?
No. She's going to be the member from rec. It's going to update on the website.
Okay.
For the recreation.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the board members.
Nope. Yeah, she's going, like, the date that you just said, September 19th of 2015 for St. James tournament. She'll go ahead and plug that in. And then if somebody says, hey, is that available on October 19th? I can look at my phone and say, yes, it's already taken.
Vice President Reeves.
Yeah, just, thank you, Bill, for all your hard work on that website. And now that the website's up and running, is the Town Watch going to be it's on the under Yahoo account.
What are we talking about the town watch and the Yahoo? What are we talking about with the town watch and the Yahoo account?
No, it's a neighborhood watch.
Yeah, the neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch.
The neighborhood watch is on the borough. Now that our borough website's up, it should be up on the borough website.
Well, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
Apparently, there was a neighborhood watch Facebook page, but I believe it was taken down.
It's not on the Borough no more, it's on Verizon.
Okay.
I put it on there.
Okay, you took care of that.
Yeah.
And also, I reached out to a contact that I have for media, and I'm going to get in contact with our people that sit on our historic society, our historic committee. I already talked to Sharon Martin, and I talked to you and Teresa Corcoran and Claire. And as soon as I get a definite with my contact as to when we can meet, we're going to meet about Eddystone and the history of Eddystone and what we can do to preserve something. Okay. And that's all I have.
Councilwoman Tanister.
I just want to thank Chief Machensky for an awesome job with the sweep and taking care of the trucks. And you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you. And Bill, thank you for putting all those hours in. I know that was very tedious and you did a good job. I don't have anything else. And don't forget Halloween, 6 to 8. That's all.
Junior councilperson Tribbett. Welcome to your second meeting.
Good job. Good job.
Councilwoman Thompson.
The only thing I would like, Tim, can I get a list of who has the borough issued cell phones? And what their monthly amounts are?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, can we have heat next month?
Take money, fresh air.
Just
I'm warming up. Come on.
Just a few things. Congratulations to Patrol Officer Signor on his appointment as a part-time officer. Chief Macheski, I want to thank you for appearing in front of council earlier this evening to give an update on the state of the police department. Initiatives like the warrant sweep are long overdue, and it's important to make sure that we have a very active police department. Now that you are fully staffed and you do have rank in the department, I'm giving you that fair warning that we're going to start putting more things on your shoulders. Vice President Reeves brings up about the town watch. I thank Nick and Wendell for being out every evening with the town watch, but we certainly, those two need some help. And, you know, it's, in my opinion, your responsibility as the chief of police to get our community involved in the town watch.
Yes, we'll start doing that at the next police meeting.
And you know, that's something that we need to talk about during the police committee meetings. Members of council, you know, what I want to charge you with for the remainder of the year is we do have 2 budget meetings that are scheduled. I know that it was the midnight hour on close to the 31st of December of last year before we actually accepted the 2014 budget. So, you know, let's get ahead of the curve. Let's start thinking about in your committee some of what your spending needs are going to be.
Could we get copies of our committees, where we are, where we started, where we are, how much money we have left? That would help us.
Sure.
Before the meeting.
That's okay. Right here. It's in your minutes.
That's what I was reading earlier.
Budgets versus actuals right in your minutes. I know that there's some repair needs that we've been talking about for well over a year at White House Hall. You know, those we need to start earmarking some money if we're going to be replacing doors, if we're going to be replacing windows. Councilman Donahue, you bring up a very good point about the condition of the signs. You know, we put together a website, and one of the purposes of the website is to promote Eddystone to the outside world. You know, we want to promote home ownership into the borough, and if you're going to come in to the borough and you're going to see faded signs and tall grass, you're probably going to take a look elsewhere before purchasing a home. So, you know, we certainly need to make sure that the grass is kept neat, that the signs are in good condition, that, you know, we make that good first impression to an outsider. And that's where I'm going to be looking to Mr. Lyman, who is going to be taking an elevated role of our code enforcement officer to make sure that, you know, you're taking a close look at those things. You know, how we appear to the outside world. So, and, you know, all of that happens if we're all working together as one body. And to me, being a member of council is just not an assignment that you take and say, okay, well, the first and second Monday of every month, I need to attend a council meeting. Councilwoman Gross hit the nail on the head when she was referencing things about the recreation department. The success there is that, you know, during the course of the month, we're all communicating. If I'm hearing for the first time Councilman Donahue's got questions about how we are moving forward with the dog, that's, you know, to me, there's a breakdown of communication here. You know, it's certainly bring these things up. You know, everybody's here to sit, and if we need to have a meeting with our treasurer to talk about budget issues, that's why we pay the treasurer. If we need to have, we got a question about police issues, we've got a chief of police that's charged with the responsibility of answering those questions. So, you know, let's make the effort of communicating more during the month as opposed to just seeing each other for the first time on the first and second Monday of every month. And I'm going to get off my soapbox now. May I have Mr. Catania?
Yes.
How are we with our sidewalk contract?
We're waiting for the contract to be prepared by the solicitor. We had 9 bids. The low bidder was Premier Concrete. All the information was left right here in the Borough Hall the day the bids were taken.
Okay.
We're waiting for a contract. As soon as we get the contract.
When you say solicitor, we're looking at Pressman and Doyle?
Yep.
So Mr. Bloom, if you could pass that on to Mr. Duffy or Mr. Pressman, that, you know, we're, I do know just a little bit about concrete because it's part of my educational background. At what point in time, Mr. Catania, do you think we're too late into the season to be doing sidewalk work?
Depends on what the temperature is.
We get the contract turned around and you can award it, say, the end of this month?
We can get it done during the month of November.
November you're good, December,
Yeah.
January, February, we're iffy.
Yeah, we're iffy there, yes.
So the window of opportunity is starting to dwindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Tatasciore, you've got one last comment?
Yeah, I just have to say that I want to apologize to Darlene Jones for being called unprofessional. I think, you know, that as a borough council, we should be professional and not call the residents unprofessional. So I'm apologizing to you.
You don't need to apologize on my behalf. She was unprofessional, and I'll leave it at that.
You know what? Like I said, I'm very sorry,
The reason
Darlene.
for DYC is because Ms. Thompson got her feelings hurt.
No, it's not feelings. I've always stood my grounds. I've never jumped the
You sat up there and
fence.
said that you would work with the kids in town.
I am working with
May
the
I
kids.
have a motion
I am
to
working with
adjourn,
the community.
please? May I have a motion to adjourn? Meeting adjourned.